Hi everyone! So before we get into the actual lessons on learning about Hangul, I wanted to explain a little bit about Korean pronunciation. Now, the major aim of this course is for you to learn the Hangul letters so that you can start reading Hangul, which ultimately will help you to learn Korean more quickly. And in order to learn the Hangul letters, I'll point out a Roman alphabet letter that produces a similar sound to the Hangul letter so that we can make that connection and learn the letters quickly. However, there is a slight problem with this because ultimately Korean consonants don't match up well with consonants in the Roman alphabet. So I'm going to explain why they don't match up well so that you have a better idea of how Korean consonant sounds are produced, and also so that you're not confused when I say this sounds like this in English, but then it sounds a little different. Okay, so to better understand the differences in the sounds of consonants in Hangul and the Roman alphabet, we need to understand two very important concepts related to how the sounds are produced. One is the concept of voiced and voiceless consonants, and the other is whether a consonant sound is an aspirated sound or an unaspirated sound. Now, when a consonant sound is voiced, it means that the sound is produced by vibrating the vocal cords. And this also means that a voiceless consonant sound is produced without vibrating vocal cords. So in English, these are the voiced consonants and these are the voiceless consonants. Quite often, to find out whether a consonant is voiced or voiceless, if you put your hand on your throat and make a voiced consonant sound, you should feel some vibration. Whereas for voiceless consonants, there is no vibration. Let's try that together. Let's try to say the voiced TH sound. It's and now let's try to say the voiceless TH sound. Can you feel the contrast? So it's Now, the second important concept is whether a consonant sound is an aspirated sound or an unaspirated sound. An aspirated consonant sound is produced with a burst of air coming out of your mouth. A typical example of this is the K sound in English. When you say K, k, just before the sound is produced, you should feel air pressure build up as your tongue blocks the air passing through. And the K sound is produced when your tongue makes way for the air to pass through. This blocking of air can happen with the tongue, as in the K sound, but it can also happen with your lips, such as it does for the P sound. P, P. Now, one thing to note is that in general, it's difficult to make a distinction between aspirated sounds and unaspirated sounds, because most sounds are aspirated. The question is more to do with whether a sound is heavily aspirated or very lightly aspirated. In English, the sounds most commonly associated with being aspirated sounds are H, P, T, and K. So we now have good awareness of the two very important concepts related to how the consonant sounds are produced. Now the big question is, how are Korean consonant sounds different from English consonant sounds? Let's find out. To understand why and how Korean consonants are different from English consonants, let's do a comparison of the English letters G and K and the Korean consonant letters Kiok and Kiuk. Now, if we put G and K in a range of aspiration, K is a moderately aspirated sound, so we'll put it here. And G is a very lightly aspirated sound, so we'll put it here. So where do the Korean consonants go in this range? First, Kiuk is the most heavily aspirated sound of these four consonants, so it goes here. And Kiok is mildly aspirated consonant, so we'll put it between G and K. So as you can see, all four consonants are aspirated differently. Also, the only voiced consonant is the G sound in English. Listen to me saying these four consonants and see if you can hear the difference. Ga, ga, ka, 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 ka. Okay, so were you able to tell the difference? Now, because the G sound is a voiced consonant, it means that the sound is produced with vocal cord vibration. So therefore the sound comes more deep within the throat. And because Kiok sound is moderately aspirated, It has a slight hint of the K sound as well as the G sound. Lastly, the distinction between K and kiek are mild, but you should feel extra burst of air when you say the kiek sound because the release of air for the kiek sound is more explosive than the K sound. So in the next lesson, while we do designate the letter G as a sound that's similar to the kiek sound in Hangul, there is some difference in the way these sounds are produced. And in truth, the kiek sound is somewhere between the G and the K sound in English. This type of comparison between English consonants and Korean consonants can be made with all the other consonant letters. And we've made a reference sheet which you can refer to check how the Korean consonant sounds are produced. So as I mentioned earlier, the major focus of this course is on learning the letters in Hangul. But I wanted to highlight the key differences in the consonant sounds in English and Korean so that you're better able to sound out the letters you're learning in this course. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll start learning the letters in Hangul. See you then. Bye-bye.